Hi, my name is David Blystone, and welcome to my course introduction for my Algebra 2 video series. So, this series, you can use it as standalone videos just to help you learn topics for Algebra 2. You could also use this as a comprehensive homeschool course, since I will be teaching using videos to teach a whole Algebra 2 course. I will be following a book, teaching all sections in the book, and of course, that would be enough for a comprehensive homeschool course. You could follow it with doing homework and tests and quizzes. I give recommendations for that. You could also use it as a course complement, going along with whatever course, wherever you're taking Algebra 2, following this as well so that you're kind of in with it and knowing the content. Or as an algebra refresher to review things you may have forgotten in algebra. So here are some of the resources I will be using. UCSMP Advanced Algebra 2nd Edition, which is University of Chicago School Mathematics Project. I will also be doing Chapter 14 from the 1st edition. So this the 2nd edition looks like this. It may also have a little logo that says Prentice Hall. It's possible. They're the same one. The other editions are different. Not as bad as some other of the books in this series, but other editions are different. So look for this one if you're trying to get it. Again, 2nd edition. As far as the Chapter 14 stuff, I'll talk about that when we get there. That's a long time away. You'll know what to do about that. I will also be using the Desmos graphing calculator at desmos.com on screen a lot. It is a good free resource that you could use if you need to do some graphing. So that's a good idea. So, if you're using this as homeschool or private teaching, what I suggest is you get the book, do the problem sets. So I'll give you some ideas for practice work at the end of each video, and you can find the book on eBay and AbeBooks. Again, don't get the 1st edition just for the last chapter unless you can find it real cheap or something. It's not worth it to have it both. I will figure out how to deal with the last chapter when we get there, but I did want to do that chapter because I think it's important. The solutions manual also, just in case. Again, they have something called Answer Masters for this book, but they're just basically a copy of the answers for each section. And all it is, the answers, not how to do the problems. The solution manual tells you how to do the problems. So I would get that if you're going to be doing homeschool or kind of some type of private teaching, situation. Just so that you have it, just so that if you don't know how to do a problem, you're not completely stuck. You can see, oh, this is how I do it. If you the testing assessment source book, I think, or testing assessment masters are a separate paperback book. Just search up UCSMP Advanced Algebra Assessment, and you should probably find it. It'll have a picture of that book I showed you on it. If it looks like a different one, it's not the right one. Well, that's Solutions Manual and Assessment, same. They do have assessment source book for that, if you want. I will, at a later time, decide whether I will make separate tests that I might give out to parents and educators who might want them. If you are looking for the Solutions Manual and you can't find it, you could also look for this, the TRF, let me make that RF CD-ROM. The TRF is the teacher's resource file. It has basically all of the paperback things that come with it, solutions manual, tests, and all, on a CD-ROM and PDF format. So that's also a way you could get a solutions manual, and if you wanted the test, that's another way to find it too. So if you want that, that's a way to get it. So how you should use the videos. Have a pencil, paper, and calculator ready at hand, so when you're doing it, you can do all the work. You might also need a ruler, protractor, and compass. Those you probably won't need for right now, For certain chapters, you might. 4 has a few sections where you might want them, and then not until chapter 12 again, really. Maybe sometimes straight edge for graphs might not be bad, but the protractor and compass you wouldn't need till something like 12. Um, you know, maybe 10 for the protractor because that's trigonometry, but again, mostly pencil, paper, and calculator. I'm just letting you know so you can have the other things if you need them. If you're using it as a homeschool course or private learning, use a notebook. Don't just take it on paper. Put it in a notebook. One of those graph paper notebooks is really nice for this. Write down all your new vocabulary theorems and charts. When I put up new vocabulary or theorem, pause the video, write it down, take the time. When I do a worked example, I do worked examples right in front, right up there. Write them out. Write down what the problem and write down how I work it out so you can see that the next thing I'll do is a U-try. A U-try is a problem very similar to the example I just gave. And so that you can pause the video. When I say pause the video, try it out, try the problem, see if you could do it, start the video and check your work. And that way you have an example to refer to in case you're not 100% sure. And like I said, do the practice problems like that. Calculators. I will assume that for whatever you do, you have a graphing calculator. Now, Desmos, like I said, is a great free tool on your computer. If that's all you can do, great, get it. A scientific calculator is not a bad thing. An HP or Casio scientific calculator wouldn't be a bad thing to have if you need it. Just to have for like quick calculations. But I'm not going to say if you have a graphing calculator, I'm just going to say on your graphing calculator you could do this, or on Desmos you could do that. Don't use your phone as a calculator if you can help it. Yes, you have most phones have a scientific calculator on it, but you can't use that on an SAT, ACT, or AP exam. So you might as well get a regular calculator and get used to it. You know, sometimes they'll have an online calculator. Usually for those, it's based on Desmos, but usually they'll let you bring your own backup calculator, and I would learn to use a regular calculator for that reason. All right, so recommendations for a graphing calculator. One of the TI-83 Plus or 84 Plus series. Any of those models in those series are good. Excellent models. Get one of those. I don't know anything about Casio's. I know Casio makes graphing calculators. They have for a long time. I've heard they might be okay. I don't know how to use them. I don't know anything about them. So, if you know someone who knows, and has that and recommends it, and they say that's what you should get it. Fine. What I recommend are the TIs. Again, they're not sponsoring me. I have no relationship with TI. I just know their products. And they're what I've used. So what about the TI-89 Titanium or TI Inspire? You're going to see those. They have a CAS computer algebra system. It's powerful, but a lot of national tests like the PSAT and SAT don't allow it. It is allowed on AP exams. So if you're planning on taking AP exams, it's a thought to think about. However, it's different than the TI-83 Plus, and it's got, an 84, which is kind of more standard. And a lot of universities won't let you have it because it's the computer algebra system. So use them at your own risk. What I would say is if you can get a graphing calculator, get one of the TI-83 or 84 models. If you're lucky enough to be able to get two, the second one could be one of these models, TI-89 Titanium or TI Inspire CAS. That would be a second graphing calculator if you're that lucky enough to be able to get one. Now, let's say you go to, a thrift shop and you find a TI-89 or a TI Inspire and it's cheap. And it's cheaper than you could get an 18 Plus. I'd say get it. It's better than nothing. But, if you can, try to still get the 83 Plus or 84 Plus model. All right, so here's an overview of what we'll be covering in the course. These are also the chapters of the book if you follow along in the book. I call them units. Unit 1, we'll be talking about functions. Unit 2, variations and graphs. Unit 3 will be going into linear functions. Unit 4 will be talking about matrices. Unit 5 will be talking about systems. Unit 6, quadratic functions. Unit 7, powers. Unit 8, inverses and radicals. Unit 9, exponential and logarithmic functions. Unit 10 will be talking about trigonometry. Unit 11, polynomials. Unit 12, quadratic relations. Unit 13, series and combinations. And Unit 14, which is the chapter from the first book, first edition, dimensions and space. So that's what this course will cover. That's a general overview of Algebra 2. So I hope you enjoy this video series. I hope it's helpful. And as always, keep on learning.